Hey, it's Todd with TLF Works, and today I'm back out in the shop where I'm going to be making a jig to sharpen my DW733 Dewalt Planner. It's in bad shape. It's got a lot of nicks in the blades. They haven't been changed in a long time, and I'm getting ready to do a new project, and they need sharpened bad. So let's get to it. So here I am at the planer. The planer comes with everything we need really to do this work right here on this dust port tray. First thing we need to do is remove this tray so we can get to the blades to remove the blades. There's just 2 screws here, and they give us an Allen wrench to do the work. Put these up here where I don't lose them. Take my tray out. We're unplugged here. Real important. This unit has 2 blades. Each blade has 8 bolts holding it in. We're going to remove both of them and then create a jig to do our sharpening. You really don't need to take this black retainer all the way off. There's a set of springs behind there, and the blade is slotted on 2 of these to come out without removing all the bolts. Right here is my release for being able to turn the spindle. So springs I was telling you about, and the slots are on the ends. Carefully remove our blade. To sharpen the planer blades, I'm going to create a jig. I'm going to create that jig using a scrap piece of 2x4. I'm going to cut 45-degree angles down the length of the board that I can slide the blades into so I can run them across a piece of sandpaper to do the sharpening. First thing I need to do is set the angle of my blade. Location of the cuts isn't real important. My blade doesn't need to be nearly this high. Alright, let's make the cuts. These blades need to go in here. Kerf on my saw blade is thinner than this material. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of painter's tape down each side of this to widen it up a little bit, run it through again. If that's not wide enough, I'll put a second piece on there, run it through. Let's give it a try. So I have my jig cut out. Here's one of my blades. It's going to slide in. It's a little loose. We'll address that in a second. But my jig is obviously too long. And I want to go ahead and get rid of these holes that were in there. And I'm going to make this jig a little shorter than the actual planing blades. So I have a little something I can push on to get this back out if it's a little too tight, something like that, without having to mess with this, what's going to be extremely sharp edge right there. So I'm going to make a couple of marks right here. We go over to my miter saw, cut that out real quick, and I'll be right back. So here I am, back with my jig. Made the jig a little shorter. My goal here is when I put these in, that 45-degree angle from the blade is going to match the 45-degree angle I've cut into this wood, and I'm going to get a nice repeatable sharpening cut here with my sandpaper. I think I'm going to put just a little bit of painter's tape in the middle of it here. On each side. I don't want it on the bottom. I don't want it creating a bump there, right? I just want it on the sides. There we go, nice and snug. Doesn't have to be tight, I just want to be able to turn this over without having those blades fall out. Now I've got some 220 here, and then some 500, and we're going to sand this up. Alright, let's see where we left off. So, in the middle of sharpening these blades for my planer, my brother stopped by, and it's now Sunday, so my brother stopped by yesterday wanting to know if I would help him with a new mantle for a fireplace. So, spent all the day yesterday doing that mantle, and now it's Sunday morning and I'm back to the planer. You can probably see how my angle is not exactly right, and that there's a shiny 1/16 of an inch or so down the sides where it's actually sharpening. So I'm creating a micro bevel, but to me I don't think this is bad. I'm not a good sharpener, but I think this is a good thing. This sandpaper was not working out really great. I switched up to this wet dry silicone carbide 500 paper, and it really cuts nice. I can really feel that it's doing a decent job. It's dawned on me that I have some diamond stones. So I think I'm going to get some of these diamond stones out. DMT. I have it in coarse, fine, and extra fine. Diamond abrasive lapping fluid. Pretty happy with that. I think I'm ready to reassemble. Let's go back to the planer and put this thing back together. The knives are made with slotted ends and adjustable holes everywhere else. So I'm going to put the end pieces on first as I reapply these, so we can slide the blade underneath the slotted groove. I just want to get these ends started. Leaving me room to get the knife underneath. As I put that blade in, it's going to be pushing these springs back. It's going to be important later when we use the guides. Trying to be very careful there. This is a sharp blade. Now, looks like the blades are in. Okay, let me finish getting these screws in here. Let's run a test piece through here and see what it looks like. I didn't quite get one little nick out, but it's barely there. I'm happy with that. So I'm pretty happy with the results there. Finally sharpened up the blades on my planer. There were 3 little nicks in it. I was worried about one. I thought I could barely see it yet in the blades. And it shows up in the wood yet. But it's way less obvious than it was before. And it'd probably take minimal amount of sanding that I'd probably do anyway to remove the little line left by that nick. So I'm way happier with the results now for that planer than I was before. So in the future sometime when I have an extra half hour to just sit here and sand on it, maybe I'll use my my jig again, excuse me. I'll use my jig and try to get rid of that last remaining nick. By then I'll probably have an additional nick to remove anyway. So I guess that's all for now. I thank you very much for watching this. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Feel free to ring that bell so you get notifications. And comment. Tell me what your experience with sharpening planer blades is. And hit that like button. Thank you very much. Bye.